Hey guys, it's Gina, and I am going to scrapbook this photo today of my brother Stephen and my nephew Mason. And Mason was about, let's see, he was born in September. He was about 3 months old when this photo was taken. And Steve was 13. And they're celebrating Christmas. And they are just, I mean, Mason has kind of like a weird, Mason is a cute little kid. He just kind of looks weird in that photo. But there's my Stephen when he was much younger. He turned 21 this year, unbelievably. I'm surprised he survived that long, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's a story for another day. I'm going to scrapbook this photo. My goal for this week was to get rid of this set of frames that I have from Pink Paisley. They came out of, I have all the photos picked out already, but they came out of this packaging here. This is the portfolio photo frames. There were 4 of them in here. I've used one, I think. Oh, no. I haven't used any of them, but I have them laid up there. I have them laid up there to use, so that's good. So I'm going to use this frame here to frame that out, because there's a lot of extraneous stuff. This is what happens when I send photos to the printer. I just send them the way that I shot them. I'm much better at taking photos now than I was in 2006, so this picture is about almost 8 years old. But obviously there's a lot of stuff in this photo that I don't necessarily want. And I'm not scrapbooking this as a Christmas layout at all. I want to more talk about their relationship. So, and Steve's relationship in general as just being an uncle. Because he was a very young uncle. He became an uncle when he was 12. So anyway. So that is the photo I'm going to scrap. And this is just the challenge. My challenge every week is to get rid of a package. That's my challenge. And so this week, my challenge is to get rid of these photo frames. But as you can see, I've pulled out a whole host of stuff. I want to tell you that I'm doing this layout based on Kitty Scrapper's 500 subscriber challenge. And she had 3 requirements. One is that you use a pattern paper background, that you at least use 2 stamps, and that you do an embellishment cluster, were her 3 requirements for her 500 subscriber challenge. So I think I have enough stuff pulled out to meet all those requirements. I definitely have the pattern paper, I have the stamps, and then the embellishment cluster will come as we get into this. Hey guys, so the first decision I need to make in making this layout is just decide on my background paper. So you're going to see me, I'm going to go through a lot of these different papers. I'm going to look at the different ways to layer them on top of each other. And I'm also going, and I apologize for the way my hands and all are going to look in this video. I was trying again to scrap and talk at the same time, and I really need to stop that because I don't do such a great job of it. When I was looking at the background papers, I finally came upon a layout that I liked with them, so you'll see that. I wasn't worried so much about layering or matting the photo because I knew that frame was going to go around it, so there was no big deal there. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just putting the frame down, and then I'm going to cut around the frame so that the only part, obviously the only part of that photo is going, the only part of the photo I'm going to use is the part inside the frame. That makes sense. Yeah. So I just got up from a nap, so if my voice is kind of, deep and weird, that's why. I should not take naps, but, some days I don't know. It's a Sunday, I needed a nap. And Stu won't be home until like 12:30 tonight, so, yeah. I just, now I have a nap, so now I can wait, I can stay up with, and wait for him, so. Anyway, again, I'm just playing around with the hardest part of this layout for me was figuring out in what configuration I wanted these 3 papers, and I don't know why I was married to them so much, but for whatever reason I was. And I went to get some white color box ink, and this is my ode to Kitty. Or Nancy as her name, but Kitty Scrapper, because she uses these roller, and that's what I'm explaining in the video. She uses these roller stamps they're from Glitz, and she uses them like almost on every layout just to add some texture and some depth to the background papers that she's using. And so I thought, well, I own some of them, so because this is her challenge, let me pull some of them out and use them. And I'm going to use this white with the triangles and I'm going to then come back with a navy blue and use a plus one, a plus stamp. So I went out, now I'm going over to get that navy blue. There we go. I'm using the Jenny Bolin ink. They don't make those anymore, unfortunately, and that's in the Spice Tin color. And one of the people asked me what my favorite, inks were, and those were it. I haven't found another ink that I like as much. I do like Colorbox chalk ink, but I don't know. I really loved those Jenny Bolin inks, and now they're gone. So I don't know. I wanted to try the Hero Arts. I haven't yet, but I'm thinking about trying those. Now I'm going to take some splatters, and I thought I was going to use some multiple colors here, but I end up only using this blue. And I really wanted the splatters to be prominent, so I'm getting a lot of ink on the little nozzle, the little tube that comes down from the nozzle, and I'm really flicking it hard so that I would get these big splotches on the paper. And then I decided, well, let's go a step further, and I banged the paper. I hit it on the desk, and when I did that, I moved, those splatters sort of dripped down the page, and I really liked the way that looked. This layout's a lot different for me. It's a little bit more messy, I guess I would say. And that's right in line with I don't know. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's just a little bit messier than I normally make it. But at the end, I really, really love this layout. So I want to thank Nancy for the inspiration and for, sharing her talents and stuff with us, because she's incredible. If you've not if you've not heard of Nancy, run over. I will leave the link in the video description. So make sure that you run over there and check her out, because she's awesome. So my stamps, I didn't put them over enough of the paper, and I'm just doing this very messily. I didn't really, is messily a word? Anyway, I didn't really pay much attention, but I knew that it wasn't high enough or long enough, so the height and the width weren't enough to put my entire mat of photos and things down. So that's what I'm working on here. I just want to make sure that you can see that stamping peeking out. And the challenge on this layout was to use 3 different kinds of stamps, and I pulled out all those Lawn Fawn stamps at the beginning. I think I cut the supply part out of this so you didn't see that, but I pulled Lawn Fawn stamps out at the beginning and didn't use them at all. What I end up using is some roller date stamps, and then these 2 roller stamps from Glitz. So I used just a strip of those hearts. I really liked how that looked, and then I used that triangular paper behind the photo to sort of give it some breathing room away from that pink. And here's my first stamp, but don't worry about it. It's not going to stay there. That was one of those big uh-oh moments where you stamp and then it looks terrible, and you're like, why did I just do that? So I'm just going to use I'm going to leave it for a second here and decide what I'm going to do with that. It said capture your heart or something like that. Capture your, I don't remember what it said, but it's going to go away. And then here's that Best Buddies label that I wanted to use. And even to this day, like 8 years later, the world revolves around Uncle Steve for Mason, so I just really, really love their relationship. So I knew I wanted to do this cluster of love you too, and definitely use the number 2 to indicate that I wasn't saying love you also, but love the 2 people that were in the photo. And I'm using, it's not my title, it's kind of like my subtitle, I guess. I'm using these 2 wood veneer hearts that say love you, and then I'm going to use that wood veneer number 2 to spell that out there. You can see them, there you go. And I'm putting them down with my quick dry adhesive. And I'm just fiddling, so I used I cut a piece of that manila tag that I put at the top, and I covered up that stamping, what I could of that stamping, with that that strip of manila tag. And then there was one little letter, so I wanted to position that love heart so it covered that one letter up so that you didn't see the big mess. So now the only people who know are the people who watch this video, and I can live with that. So there we go. And I wanted to use these little potty people wood veneers. one larger and one smaller to indicate, you know, the adult uncle. He's not an adult in this photo, but he is bigger than Mason. And so I don't get to use these wood veneers very often, these potty people. So I'm trying to incorporate them a little bit more when I want to indicate the relationship between the two people in the photo. So I decided to do that, and I put them down with my quick dry adhesive as well. And then I'm gonna play with the idea of these, and here I'm talking to you with my hands again. I'm gonna play with the idea of these resin stars, but they don't make it onto the layout. I put it right there above that U, and because at first that space between the love and the two, where the U is sort of moving down on the photo, was bothering me, so I thought I needed something there. And it turns out that I decide that I'm not. I don't need it there. It's fine the way it is, so I take that off. And right now I'm looking at the brads that came in the Freckled Fawn kit, and I'm going to pull 2 of them off. Yep. And then I'm going to try to figure out where I'm going to put them. And I'm looking right now for my brad setter. Is where I am there. Stu is gonna fix that table for me. He's got to he's gonna brace that table against my bookcase, so so that shakiness in that on that table will go away, which will be good. So I'm gonna put one of these brads with it's a star with it's a navy star with a yellow. It's a navy brad with a yellow star, and I'm gonna put that down here near these, and I never put my holes where they belong the first time, so I always have to take them out and try again. So scrapbooking for me is trial and error. That's basically what it is. So I'm gonna put that down, and then I think the next thing I'm gonna do is work on my title, because where the next brad goes is very reliant on where the title is gonna go. So I think that's what I'm going to work on next. And this is lagging a bit because I didn't speed it up. That's why. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Okay. I didn't speed this part of the video up, so that's why it's lagging. Give me 1 second to do that, and I will be right back. Okay, this should move along a little faster now. I'm so sorry about that. I had to add a clip in here and in the video editing, and I forgot completely to speed it up. So I was like, why is this going so slow? And that was why. So now we're back to 400 speed, so we don't have to watch every little movement of my hands or whatever. I'm using these arrows. They're from the 2 Peas in a Bucket. I don't know. They're you know, I think Freckled Fawn makes them for 2 Peas in a Bucket. But I'm going to add 3 of them up the left-hand side. I'm going to add 1 of them to the bottom right, but I need to figure out what that cluster in the bottom right is going to be, because that's where my embellishment cluster. I have the Best Buddies with the wood veneers and things like that over on that one side, so that's an embellishment cluster, but the main cluster on the page is going to be down there where that 1 arrow is on the bottom right. I am going to name this layout 2 of my boys. I'm using this October Afternoon sticker set, and I'm going to use both of the fonts. For 2 and boys, I'm going to use the larger font, and then I'm going to use the towel stickers for the of my. And I really like that they give you those that option to have both of those stickers in the same spot in the same set. That worked out really well. I'm going to add another brad here. It's going to be the navy with the white star. Oh dear, the white arrow. I'm sorry, it's a white arrow with the white arrow here, pointing to the title, so that points that out. And now I'm just working on this embellishment cluster in the bottom right here. And I think with the addition of this embellishment cluster, I've hit the stamping. I've used 2 stamps already, but I'm going to go back and use some date stamps, some roller stamps, and things like that. I've done a cluster, and I used pattern paper as a background. So I think I met all the requirements of the challenge. And I don't know where I've run off to now. Oh, I have to put twine through my... I was trying to find twine because there are tags at the top. You guys know how I am. I have to put twine through those holes in those tags, or else it'll bother me. So I'm going to use some Doodlebug. I think it's Doodlebug twine. Let me just take a look at my list of stuff here. I thought it was Doodlebug. Yes, Doodlebug. It's the twine from the boy assortment. So that's what I'm using there. I'm just going to loop those around through those holes a bit. Then I'm going to finish that cluster up in the bottom right hand corner, hopefully. Unless it's finished. No. I'm going to pull out some, these are some little puffy stickers. And I'm going to add a little heart to the camera.
And then I'm going to add a little camera to where the little people are with a heart above it. There we go. And then I'm going to pull out some enamel dots and just sprinkle some enamel dots around the layout. I was thinking that it needed something at the top there where the two of my boys those words are, and so I added that little cluster of enamel dots, and that still didn't do it enough for me, so I'm going to go back with some stamps and add that in. But first I'm going to write my title, I'm going to write my journaling underneath. I'm going to stamp first, pardon me. So I added the date, December 25th, 2006 in the lower right hand corner. And then I'm going to add, I use a roller date stamp here with it's hashtag together, and I just stamp that a couple of times. And then I'm going to use the one that says I love you lots and the one that says the best. And I just stamp it, and then just run it down the page without re-inking in between. And then I'm going to do my journaling. My journaling says Stephen Mason cuddling on Christmas morning. It's been awesome to watch them both grow up and continue to be so close. And I'm just checking colors of ink here, so I'm going to add that. And then once that's done, you'll see a picture of the layout. And if you want closer pictures or a supply list, you can head on over to my blog for that. And otherwise, I'm going to give you a close-up. This part I should have slowed down, right? Oh well. I'm gonna put here you go. Here's your close-up of the layout, your still picture of the layout, and detailed pictures and the supply list are over on my blog, which you can find at gina-beth.com. And I think that's gonna end my my voiceovers for the evening, because obviously I can't do it so well. So I hope you guys are having a great Sunday night, and I will see you again tomorrow.